The Dallas Mavericks are officially finished. Ever since Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic have played a game together, they are 3-7, puts them at 30% winning percentage overall. If you compare that to the rest of the teams, fifth worst team in the league. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but yeah, no, they're cooked. Yesterday I was just watching the game. There against my Pelicans are my second favorite team, and they were playing Justin Holiday, who was getting DNP'd by the Hawks. And there was, multiple people in front of him that were like barely getting DNP'd, where if someone was hurt, they were gonna play. Justin Holiday was nowhere near in that mix. And the Dallas Mavericks, who are supposed to be this way better team, have him in the lineup. Now I understand Reggie Bullock was out. That shouldn't be too much of a problem, as he's one of the most inconsistent shooters I've ever seen. And Maxi Kleba was out. I can never depend on Maxi to be healthy because he hasn't played the whole season. I swear he's played like 5 games, and all of those have been recent. Just overall, and overall, this personnel is not it. I mean, they're gonna blame the coach. They're gonna blame Jason Kidd. Maybe Jason Kidd gets fired in the offseason, which I hope doesn't happen. I don't even think it will happen, but I've seen some people saying that it should, and it's just crazy. I mean, the starting lineup is Kyrie, Luka, Josh Green. Josh Green's decent for sure, but like starting, is he starting caliber for a contender? I don't know. So Reggie Bullock, I guess, when healthy. I think last night it was Tim Hardaway Jr. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is just, oh man, that was like one of the worst contracts ever given. And it's just inconvenient. It wasn't even that much money. I think THJ was getting like 18 million a year, maybe a little bit more. Just so inconvenient because now they can't do anything with cap space. It's guaranteed. No one wants that contract unless they're getting a pick back. And do the Mavericks want to give up picks? I don't know. They've already given up one in 2029. And this team's just not it. It's just too small, Reggie Bullock and Josh Green at the 3 and 4. You're not really getting anyone too big. I guess Josh Green's like, he's like 6'5", 6'6". And then obviously last night he was off the bench, so it was Tim Hardaway Jr. and I guess Josh Green was starting. I think it's just a small team because you got Kyrie Irving who's 6'2". Your forwards are like 6'5", 6'6". Luka Doncic is like 6'7", but like he plays. He's like the worst he's the worst defending superstar in the league easily. And even if you include Trae Young in that, like Trae Young, it's small sample size and it's only under Quinn Snyder. But recently he's been defending pretty well. I mean, if you just watch the whole game, it's been kind of consistent. There's been obviously some lapses, but yeah, Luka's easily the worst. Kyrie Irving's not a good defender. He's not like a terrible one, but like he's better than like the average Trae Young or the average Damian Lillard defensive performance. But they can't, like, they're too small and they can't defend one on one, and there's just so many passing lanes. I think the Pelicans last night, who don't like the closest the Pelicans have to a point guard right now because Jose Alvarado's hurt, is Dyson Daniels, and they had like 35 assists last night, which is like an amazingly high amount. Especially because a lot of the Pelicans' normal offense without Zion is just Bi, making mid ranges, which doesn't come with assists, but Bi's been put up like 6, 7 assists. Dyson Daniels put up that much. CJ McCollum put up a bunch of assists. Like, I don't know. Like this team is just, and the worst part is they're screwed for next year. But if we're just talking about this year, personnel is pretty bad. I mean, you know what though? Who's their starting? Oh, crap, what's his name? Their starting center, Dwight Powell. He was playing pretty decent last night, and as of recently. Um, but yeah, everyone else just seems like they're playing Markieff Morris. I'm not even joking. I think Markieff Morris played about 3 minutes 47 seconds. I was just looking at the box score. But I was actually watching the game. I was rewatching the game from last night because I couldn't watch it live. Markieff Morris, like that was the worst single 3 minutes I've ever seen from a player in my life. He gave up he put up like he's a power forward who put up no effort on the rebounding, so he gave up a wide open offensive putback. I think it was someone on the Pelicans. It wasn't a center. It might have been Trey Murphy. He then shot a jump shot that hit all backboard, and then he threw a pass to no one. So he got a miss, a turnover, and then he got put back on within 3 minutes. I think he was like a -10 in that. Like it was just absolutely the most terrible thing I've ever seen. And even if you say Kleba was hurt and Reggie Bullock was hurt, the fact that he'd probably be like the first guy off the DNP list is it's just absolutely crazy. This team's screwed. They don't have their pick this year. They don't have their pick in 2029. It's gonna be hard to develop. You're not gonna sign anyone big. Assuming that Kyrie Irving wants to stay in the offseason, which I don't think he should. I think he's smart enough to know that the fit won't work, but it was a good try just getting out of that Nets situation. There's no other superstars that you even can sign or who would even be willing to sign with the Dallas Mavericks. And yeah, this year they are at most a second round exit. And I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that maybe they could play the Kings and get that 7th seed. Maybe they can play even like the Grizzlies, honestly. Like if the Grizzlies don't have Ja and they don't have Steven Adams, because Steven Adams recently was ruled out for 4 weeks, which is like almost up to the playoffs. So there is a possibility that he gets reevaluated, has to miss more, and misses some of the playoffs. So maybe they could beat one of those teams. But that's not a win. The fact that the Dallas Mavericks have been trying to contend ever since they traded for Porzingis, which was 4 years ago, and like just by now, 4 years in, a second round exit isn't like it's a terrible thing. It's not just a bad thing. It's a terrible thing. The fact that you've made no progress, you haven't really developed anyone. The one player you did develop outside of Luka was Jalen Brunson, and he just left. He straight up left. You didn't get any assets for him. You lost Dorian Finney-Smith. You lost Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't know. Mavericks fans, I feel for you. Um, you guys are lost. And quite frankly, I feel like Luka. Um, let's see. When did he sign the extension? Like 2 years ago. So he still has 3 years left. I think he's just gonna ask out in the offseason. Especially if he's getting the feeling that Kyrie Irving's gonna leave. But yeah, this roster isn't it. I'm not even gonna blame it on Jason Kidd because the personnel is so bad. Justin Holiday is getting minutes. Markieff Morris, Frank Ntilikina. Goodness. I'm sorry, y'all. Like this is terrible. That's all I have to say. It's gonna be a short video. I just want to get straight to the point. This team is screwed. What do you think of the comments? Like the video, and yeah, peace.